go. All right. So today's class is all about reversing cooking for Thanksgiving. I found that my mid back was very sore and stuck. So I already did, obviously, I mean, it's been like almost a week, but I have already done some stretches and stuff, but I thought maybe it'd be nice to do some of that tonight. So if you have your towel roll ready, let's grab that, and also have your blocks nearby. And you'll just set up your towel roll about 1/4 back from the top of your mat, and then come to lying down on it where it's going to be just a tad bit below your shoulder blades to begin to open up your spine. Ooh. And I'm not texting or anything. I'm just turning on my timer for us. Oh, my timer is not up here. Set it up. And so you can do whatever you want with your legs, right? They can be up like mine are, knees pointed to the sky, or you can have them long. And then your arms, they can be in a T. Shoulders might, be flush to the ground, or they might be struggling to make their way to the ground, depending on how tight you are. And if it's too much below the shoulder blades, you can always roll yourself down and have the towel just at your shoulder blades so that the angle is less. So the lower you go with the towel roll, the deeper the angle will be, and the more you'll feel. And then notice if your head is cranking back, your neck is cranking. You can always take your fingertips to your suboccipitals and just give a gentle tug to lengthen the back side of your neck. And then just relaxing, letting your body melt over the towel roll as you sustain some long and deep breaths. Not allowing the towel roll to shorten the breaths, but to just kind of trigger an awareness around the rib cage to expand it with breath. And when you let the breath go, to just melt further and further over the towel. So being with your breath as you follow it all the way in, down along the spine, filling up your lungs, triggering the vagus nerve all the way down the spine, and then as you exhale, following it right back up. Vagus nerve being right along your spine. Something we can feel as we breathe. Something that we can bring attention to as we breathe. And then from here, you'll just turn over to either side and help yourself up, removing the towel. And now we'll step it up by taking your blocks, level 2, underneath your shoulder blades, level 3, underneath your head, and come on back. And again, with this one, you can, same thing with the legs, you can have your knees bent or long, legs long. Arms can be in a T. Now feeling your chest expand more, your rib cage opening more on the front side, your spine on the front side. And again, allowing your breath to aid you in that opening. Breathing in to expand, and breathing out to let go of any gripping, holding. Feeling your body begin to relax and shake. I know it's not just Thanksgiving dinner that we tend to hold a movement pattern of closing the chest and getting tight in the mid back. You know, it comes from sitting all day and driving and looking at our phones, being on our computers. So this is always helpful for any time. but it really got to me over Thanksgiving. So bend your knees if they're not already, and then take your fingertips behind your head, engage your belly, and then lift your head up so you get some space here. And lower the block behind your head to level 1, the lowest setting. And you might find that you want to raise it 1 level. But now we're just going for a little bit deeper of a bend, and then grab the back of your head with your fingertips again and set your head down on top of that block. If your neck is cranking at all, level up to the medium height of the block behind your head, or even go back to level 3 if it's just too much. You can to your arms again. You can lengthen your legs if you would like. You can also keep your fingers interlaced behind your head if it feels good. You might explore keeping your elbows close to your head or having them out wide to expand your chest a little bit more. All of these are great. And if it feels okay, you can lengthen your legs. Interlacing your palms behind your head might help support your head and neck a little bit more as well, if that's what you're looking for. Noticing if you're gripping or holding in any way in this larger angle, and seeing where you can let go with an exhale, using your breath to aid you in letting go. What I mean by letting go is letting yourself be with whatever is here, like the sensations that are making you grip. Can they just be here instead of gripping against them? And then from here, we will interlace palms behind the head to gently lift the head as you engage your belly to help yourself up. bending into your knees if they're not already. And then cradling your head with one hand, setting the other elbow down, and then rolling over onto that elbow and aid yourself up. Move these blocks out of the way, and we'll feel what flat feels like. Coming down onto your back. And notice what flat feels like. Just for a moment. And we'll grab one of these blocks and set it underneath our hips. And then with this, you might take a moment just to connect. And then set your right ankle, sneak it right behind your left heel, and just let your right knee be nice and heavy. If that's too much on your right hip or your knee or whatever it might be for you, you can always set a block underneath the right leg just to help support it. Just opening the psoas a little bit here since we let it relax a bit before. And again, just noticing where you're gripping. Sometimes it takes a little bit more than breath to help us let go and be with the sensations that are here. Blocks always help, offering yourself the support that you might need. And being here with your experience, noticing if your mind is running away to thoughts of past, future, and just coming right back to what's going on here. Could be your breath, could be noticing sensations in the body, sounds around you. You might even notice thoughts whizzing by without getting caught in them. And then we'll switch sides. So taking your right ankle out, left ankle sneaks behind right heel. Always have the option of that block underneath your left hip or knee or wherever it feels right. You might notice one side is very different. Could be the psoas is tighter on this side, the hip flexor, or maybe just your anatomy where how the femur bone, the leg bone sits in the hip socket. Usually it's different from one side to the other. Sensing your quad lengthening as your knee is heavy. Notice how the sensations have changed now over time. And we'll sneak that left ankle back out, lifting the hips, getting rid of the block underneath, coming down to a flat back for a moment, feeling the weight of your hips down on the floor. And then we'll make our way up, turning over to one side, leaning yourself up with a hand or two, and then coming onto hands and knees to set up for the next shape. We're going to grab our two blocks. And I like them on level 2. They'll be shoulder width apart. You can also set them on level 1. You might play with it as you move around. And then set your hands right outside of the blocks. Shoulders are going to land on top of the blocks and head down to the floor. If this is too much on your neck, you can always use the towel roll right in front of the blocks to support your forehead. I'll just show you what that looks like. So make your way down with shoulder heads on top of the blocks. And then your forehead can come down onto the towel roll or onto the floor. And with your arms, set your arms alongside your body to direct your shoulders upwards towards the sky. More so to expand your chest. Now, if the corners of the blocks are like digging into your chest, into the sides of your chest, you're more than welcome to play with them, to take them a little bit further apart, just enough so that your shoulder heads are supported by the blocks, and the rest is just hanging off of the blocks. I like my hands to face down, the palm of my hands to face down towards the floor. So my shoulders are in external rotation. I'm just continuing to open the chest, guiding the shoulder blades back and down. So this is like a very gentle locust pose, but very supported. And so in the support, relaxing the back as it extends once again, and the chest stretching. Feeling the pressing on your belly as gravity does its thing, pressing your belly down to the floor. The option is always there also to just flip your palms the other way if that feels better. And then you'll Take your hands outside the blocks once again. Press your way up into hands and knees. And you might keep the blocks as they are for this next shape, the child's pose, but taking your elbows on top of the blocks. So you might play with it. You might need to lower the blocks down a level. And so taking your elbows down onto the blocks, your knees can be together or they can be apart, whatever feels better. I'm going to go with apart just because that promotes the mid back dropping a little bit more, which is what we're going for today. And then setting your head down in the center of the blocks, bending into your elbows and taking your hands back to the nape of your neck. So we're going for a big stretch here. Again, you can lower the blocks down to level 1. You can even take the blocks away and do this elbow bend on the floor. It can be quite a bit as well. Or you can simply do a child's pose without bending your elbows. Wherever you land, allowing your body to settle into the shape, breathing into it, as it can be a lot. You're going for challenge here, not overwhelm. And straightening your arms, pressing your way up onto hands and knees or onto elbows and knees. For this next one, lower your blocks by 1 level. And if that means taking the blocks away, that works as well. Take your elbows back down to the blocks and then step your knees back a few inches, going for puppy dog here. So Knees come down so that your hips are above your knees. Head sets down, elbows bend. Elbows also don't have to bend. Arms can be straight and set on the blocks as well. It can be nice. Whatever you're feeling. And again, with any of these more intense stretches, pushing to the range of motion of your joints, notice where you might be gripping in a way of protecting. So while not going for overwhelm, just for challenge, but still seeing where it is that we're overprotecting. And can you just use your breath to expand the rib cage and to let it go? Straightening your arms, pressing your elbows down to lift yourself up to knees and elbows. Take your hands on top of these blocks, making sure they're on level one, and tuck your toes, press back to downward facing dog just for a moment as you step into your pigeon pose. So right leg forward for pigeon, sliding the left leg back to get into position. And then again, walk your elbows forward. You might need to adjust the blocks, check it out. And then, yeah, I definitely need to slide mine up. And I'm going to do the same thing with the arms, but in pigeon pose. And this really changes the way the spine is set into the sacrum. It gives a different orientation for the piriformis opening. And so by doing this, I notice that I'm falling a lot to my left, like my left hip is totally dropping. If that's happening for you as well, you can take that towel roll underneath the left hip to support it and come on back down with the elbows. See how that helps. If any of this is too much, take whatever you need away. Blocks, maybe using the blocks to lessen the angle of the bend in your right hip. Always coming back to your breath. Lifting your head. And we'll step it back to down dog, lowering those blocks to level 1 if they're not already. Hands placed on the blocks, and you can use them to move back to your down dog, which is also very different with blocks. Left side pigeon. As you make your way down, maybe set up that towel roll on the opposite side if need be. There. And then make your way with your elbows onto the blocks.
And paying attention to how doing this shape differently might be shortening the breath as the heart is encouraged forward. Does it shorten the breath in any way? Just reminding yourself to breathe. And making your way up. This time you can get rid of the blocks. Hands down, step back to your down dog just to flesh out that side. And the knees come down to the mat. Turn over onto your back. We'll make our way into an easy twist. So knees come on into the chest. You can rock side to side and then take your knees over to the left. From here, sorry, to your arms, and then your elbows press down into the ground to lift your torso and send it over to the left. So you're into a deeper twist. You can do that as many times as you would like. Just to open up your heart a little bit more. And then just your arms back out, or cactus arms, whatever feels good here. So noticing Now that we are reaching towards the end of class, the difference in your spine, your heart space, your shoulders. And the final moments of this posture, taking some deep breaths to settle into this twist. And bringing your knees back through center, adjusting your body back to the center of the mat. Knees come into your chest and then over to the opposite side, where you'll again press your elbows down into the mat and sneak your torso, your chest off to the right. One side might not let you as much as the other. And another thing you can do to encourage your opposite shoulder, in this case, your left shoulder, down, you can lift your left arm with the elbow, with the hand, and reach away from your body with the arm and then set it back down. And again, breathing into this twist, deeply breathing in and deeply breathing out. Bringing your knees back into your chest, into center, rocking side to side, and getting yourself ready for your long and overdue Shavasana Yoga Nidra. So if you want to take just a few moments to run to the restroom, like I will. All right. Thank you, Anya. Bye. And Arden, I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Hey there. Hey, so Wally is being really anxious, and I think I have to take him out. He's going to just be on me this whole time. So I think I'm going to have to skip, and then I'll just go do one of your ones you have recorded later.
Wait. Sorry. I hear you now.
Oh, okay. So Wallace has been like pacing this whole time, and he's really anxious. So I think I'm going to need to take him out and see what's going on. So I wanted to catch you before you started because normally you don't see me.
Right.
I didn't want you talking to an empty room.